I decided to do my little project on the Lark by Balakirev. And even though we haven't discussed it yet in our lesson, because I just think it's super cool and I like everything Russian. One of my daughters is from Russia, and I also have a teenage girl that we took on from Russia. She was a teenager who was adopted by someone else, and then they couldn't get along with her. Now she's in her 30s, but anyway, so I've been to Russia 4 times, and I think Russia is just awesome. So I love everything about it. So anyway, so Balakirev wrote this transcription of Glinka's song, The Lark. And it's from A Farewell to St. Petersburg. Glinka was the greatest Russian composer, musician in as far as the Mighty Five Russians considered things to be. So in the 1800s, and they were trying to model themselves after him, and among the Mighty Five, or the Mighty Handful, was Balakirev. And so this is his transcription of that song, and it's just really fun. It's just so flashy. It's flashy and showy, but still really lyrical and sweet, and I just love it. And I'm never going to be able to play it well, I don't think. Especially after listening to these people I listened to, and I have been listening to. They're so awesome. So I've been listening to Evgeny Kissin because that's just the one that I've been listening to help me learn it. And I really like the way he does a lot of things. A little bit about him, I'm sure you probably know. He's Russian, but I didn't realize he's also Jewish. And he has triple citizenship in Russia, in England, and in Israel. And I also didn't realize he never went to conservatory, and he never competed. He started concertizing when he was only 11, and internationally when he was only 14, and never entered a competition. It's crazy. How did he even manage to get into the international scene without competing? I mean, it seems like that's the only way anyone can get in anymore. But he only had one teacher his whole life, and that was Anna Kantor, and he went to the Nesson School, which so I think that's the school that Scriabin started. No, Rubinstein. No. No, it's not Scriabin. Anyway, the school for gifted musicians in Moscow. Never went to conservatory. He did win the Triumph Award, which is given by the Russian government for being a greatest contribution to Russian culture. He also composes a little bit. He's an honorary doctor. He is given honorary doctorate from Manhattan School of Music, the University of Hong Kong, and the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, but he's never actually gone to college. He also received the Shostakovich Award from Russia, and he's received 2 Grammys for his recordings. So he listened to Artur Rubinstein a lot, and to Busoni as he was growing up, and then he studied with Anna Kantor and just formed his own style. Didn't get into the Russian school the way that it is now, and some people feel like that means he became a more traditional Russian, really. And he was like, he brought the old style back, but really it's just his own style. So that's about him anyway. When he performs this piece, he plays the introduction very slow, just as it's written, quasi recitativo, and he does seem to completely ignore the rests, or else he's in a super wet hall when he's recording, but it sounds to me like he's holding the left hand down, which is what I did when I played it before too, and then I was looking at it thinking, why don't we all get off those rests? I don't know why. Mine has you pedal, but then come off, my copy, but I don't know why you'd want to. Obviously, it's so pretty with them on, but anyway, he ignores those rests, it sounds like. Then on page 2, in the andantino part, he's got a real forward motion, but it's still pretty, got a pretty steady beat. He offsets the middle voice when he, on those accent notes in the left hand, like on measure 22 and measure 24. He plays them a little bit off time to really emphasize them. He does follow the dynamic notations almost exactly. Very precise on that. On the con breviris section, let me see, where's that? He rushes that a little bit, and I can't figure out where it is right now. I think I can't even read the word right now. I know it was here. I saw it. I guess I was seeing it on his music, so that's why I'm not finding it on mine. There it is. Page 6, measure 50. So he kind of rushes that, and then he has these really great swoopy kind of feelings in his runs, like on page 7. They just whoosh up and down. It's so awesome. I wish I could do that. And then he has a really sweet, quiet end. He's just really playing what's written there very well. But then when we go to my other one I listened to, which was Yelena Beckman, Shcherbina. I don't know how to say that. SHCH, very well. Shcherbina. Hers is quite different. And I hadn't heard of her before, but apparently she's the grande dame of Russian pianists in the early 20th century. And it's hard to find stuff about her or to find recordings of her. I guess they're kind of hard to find. But she studied with Zverev and another 3 different teachers as well. But, you know, Rachmaninoff's teacher, Zverev. And she went to Moscow Conservatory. She was born Yelena Alexandrovna Kamentseva. I can't read my own handwriting, not for sure. But then I guess she changed her last name because she was adopted by her aunt when her mother died. And so then it became Beckman Shcherbina. So she was a gold medalist at the Moscow Conservatory. She was really pretty famous for championing what was contemporary music at the time, Scriabin and Debussy, Ravel, Albanese. And she started performing on the radio in 1924. She wrote pieces for children, which I wish I could find. That'd be cool. And then she taught privately. She taught at Moscow and at the Nesson School and the Scriabin School. And that's about all I could find on her. It's not a lot of stuff. Anyway, but she plays totally differently. She's got a completely different rhythm on page 1 in that introduction. She plays, of each of those 4-bar phrases, she plays the second 2 bars almost twice as fast as the first and just really rushes them. Really, I honestly don't like it, but, and then, yeah, she like mushes them together, and I don't really like it, but, and then her andantino part is pretty, just kind of like setting the scene. Then when you get over to page 4, her swooshiness is just awesome. It really sounds like a bird flying around, really cool. But she does her own dynamics. She doesn't follow what's written here on the page, on my page, or on Kissin's version. That on the YouTube video, it shows the music while he's playing. So she has this really light touch and really airy and flighty. I don't really hear any sforzando in the middle like it's supposed to be, and I don't hear the forte at the end either, really. It just feels like it's really light and then super quiet at the end, but she does that ending with a real dry end, like really clear, dry. Maybe she's got the una corda on, so there's less ringing or something. Then during the con bravura part, oh, all of these swooshes are so awesome all the way through. All of her 30-second notes are it's just amazing. I wish I could do that. But when she goes over onto page 6, the con bravura part, she does the opposite of what Kissin does, and she slows during it, where he speeds up and kind of has this intensity. She has a slowing down type of intensity with it. And then this F7, or this F chord over the E flat thing, she has this really cool bloopy sound. It's kind of like a, I don't know, it just kind of sounds kind of bumpy-ish, but it sounds cool. Where his sounds smoother. Then measure 61 to 63, where it's this. So kind of the last time that little bird trilling is playing, she really rushes that. Has hardly any resemblance to the rhythm there. I really like the very end on 68, measure 68, she has a little rubato there that is just really nice. There's a stretching and then a shrinking that just sounds really good with that repetitive. What is it? Sounds really, really good. To me, it feels like she's more colorful than Kissin, and it's really, really enjoyable to listen to. His sounds more formal and more like he's following a score, and hers sounds more like it's just coming out of her heart. Alexeyev, who's a musicologist, he says she uses transparent watercolor tones. That's really what it sounds like. It sounds really colorful, but really muted. It doesn't ever get very loud, even in the con bravura part. It's just, which fits with the Lark, I guess. So anyway, I'll send you I'll add in the links to those 2 performances and complete the assignment. So thanks. See you next semester.